Hello Year 9s. This is the second part of the advanced algebra section of NAPLAN. There will be a third part because I won't be able to fit all the questions in this video. I don't want to make it too long. In this question we have an equation and we need to find the value of m. There's a number of options. We could start inserting -6 into m and seeing if this equates -2 and -1.5 and 2, but preferably the best way to do that is to solve for m by rearranging the equation. And so we'll start by subtracting 4 on this side, and therefore we must also subtract 4 on this side. And when you do that, you're just left with the 5m. The 4's cancel out, and we have 3m, and -8 minus 4 means it's going to be -12. Since we want all the m values on the same side, we'll subtract this 3 on the right hand side and also subtract it on here. And that will leave us with 2m is equal to, once again, these two cancel out, and we're just left with -12. Now to remove the 2, we need to divide it by 2, and therefore we need to divide it by 2 on the other side as well, and those two will cancel out. And so m now becomes -6. So we've solved m for -6. So we can highlight A. Now this is the fastest way of solving for m. Previously in the lower standards I've shown you how to do it by substituting each value into that equation, but by now this is the way that you need to be working through this problem, and it is a very popular problem in NAPLAN. Oh, this is a new type of a problem that we haven't encountered before. Which two of these points lie on the straight line joining 3, 4 and 14 and 15? And then there's a whole lot of coordinates here that you need to decide on. There should be two answers because they want you to find 2 points. Well, we don't have a graph, but we could write this in a table. I'm suggesting a table because you've done this before where you had x values and y values. Now, you know that 3, 4 coordinate 3, 4, that's the 3 is the x value and the 4 is the y value. So we could write 3, 4. And the other point is 14 and 15 is the y coordinate. So I also now need you to notice that the distance between 3 and 14 is 11, and the distance between 14 and 15 is 11. So the separation is the same. In other words, if I was to use the next number 4, then y would be 5. If I had 5, then y would be 6. If I had 6, then y would be 7. If I had 7 for x, then y would be 8. So you're seeing that the coordinates differ by 1. So I could see that D would be one of them. Now 9 and 12 cannot be because if it's 9, it should be 10. Here we've got B, 10 and 11. That's another one that is correct. So we could highlight that one as well. And the reason it can't be A is because x here is larger than the y value. So the question here is which values of x and y satisfy both these equations? And we have 2 equations. This is what we call a simultaneous equations. We can solve them in a number of ways. You must first look at the 2 equations and identify any features that you think are familiar or that will give you some kind of an idea on how to proceed with this. I will do it by adding these two equations together. Why have I decided to add them? Because I have a plus y here, and in the other equation I've got a subtract y. Now you know that if you have a plus y and you then subtract y, then you will get no y's values. And as I add, x plus x will give me 2x. Plus y, take away y, will be eliminated. And 7 plus 3 will give me 10. Now I want to solve for x. So the next step is to divide by 2, both sides. The 2's cancel out, and 10 on 2 is 5, so my answer will be x is equal to 5. So now we found the value of x. But now we need to find the value of y. Can you see that if I substitute x into my equation, they both look like this? 5 plus y equals 7. Or if I do it to the other one, it'll be 5 minus y equals 7. I can find the value of y by choosing either the first equation or the second equation. So I'll choose the first equation. 5 plus y is equal to 7. If I want to know what y is, I'm going to need to take away minus 5 here and minus 5 here. And that way I know that y is equal to 7 minus 5 is 2. Because these two cancel and I've got y is equal to 2. So I put it in my box. Now this equation over here has a term missing in it. I copied it below here so that we can work on it. A term may be a constant, or it could be a variable, or it could be a product of a variable with a constant. Our mission therefore is to remove all these terms. So we're going to begin by first of all looking at the fact that we do have a bracket in here. This bracket means that we need to remove that bracket. The only way we can remove that bracket is by taking that 4 and multiplying the 4 with the 5x and then multiplying the 4 with the minus 1. So 4 times 5 is 20x. A lot of students will multiply 4 with a 1, and it's not just 4 with a 1. Remember that minus 1 is the term that you're going to multiply it by. So multiplying 4 with minus 1 means that you've got minus 4. The rest of it is just as usual, 3, and then we have also now this term, as well as everything on the right hand side. These two constants here, minus 4 and 3, can be added together. So our equation is now 20x minus 1 plus the term and everything on the right hand side. Now we'll start removing the minus 1, and we do that by adding a 1 to this side, and therefore we must also add a 1 to the right hand side. This will mean that minus 1 and 1 will be eliminated, as well as minus 1 plus 1 here will be eliminated. And we're left with 20x plus our unknown term, as well as 15x on the other side. So now if we remove the 20x from the left hand side, just so that this unknown term is on its own, and we do this by subtracting 20x, and therefore subtracting 20x on that side as well. So we've eliminated those two, and what we have left is that our missing term is going to be 15x take away 20x, which means it'll be a negative 5x. So we fill the answer in our box. Minus 5x is the term. If k is negative 3, what is the value of k squared minus 4k? So when you see k squared, that means there must be 2 copies of k multiplied together. And we continue writing minus 4k. And now we will need to substitute k is equal to negative 3. And now we have negative 3 times negative 3. And we're going to take away 4 times negative 3. So when we multiply a negative number by a negative number, we'll get a positive number. And 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 4 times negative 3 will give me a negative number, a negative 12. Now because we've got 2 negatives, the 2 negatives now form a positive. So it's 9 plus 12. And the answer to that will be 21. And therefore D will be our answer.